you doing, everybody? Josh Green here. Just came back from MAGfest, and it's a new year upon us. It is now 2012, and it's definitely been an interesting start, to say for sure. But I'm here right now to start one of the first videos I'm going to be doing for this year. Instead of doing a ton of different types of series where I have reviews or game footage or con reports, I'm just going to bundle everything up into one show that's going to cover all these bases, just simply titled Jkun Presents. So now that I have all the hardware and everything that I need to actually do what I wanted to do in the first place, you're going to see a lot more activity coming from me in the form of whether it be fighting videos, game reviews, movie reviews, con reports, e-cigarette reviews, or anything that just may come to my mind. You're definitely going to be seeing a lot more of me. But for this one, this is going to be the con report for MAGfest. Now, MAGfest is a video game and music convention that's held every year in January. I've wanted to go for a very long time, but when it comes to that point of the year, I always tend to be very strapped for cash, and it becomes very difficult to do so. I won't lie, this week I have certainly had the week from hell. It's nothing I really care to go into, nothing I really care to shed any light on. Kind of personal, so no need to pull anyone into it that's not involved. But the ending result of it was two of my friends basically telling me just get my ass up to the Gaylord National Hotel, and they'll take it from there. So I actually got to spend all day yesterday, which was Saturday, at MAGfest. And I gotta say, and this is from my own personal standpoint, I had more fun at that convention in a day than I have had at the past 2 years worth of anime conventions, and that's really saying a lot to the content of this convention. Anything and everything I could possibly think of in my interest of internet personalities or video gaming was right there at my disposal. Like, if there was something I wanted in those categories, it was there. But I wound up showing up around 6 in the morning, so things were really dying down. Well, not dying down, they were flat out dead for 6 in the morning. So I had a chance to just kind of walk around and get the lay of the land, pretty much. And I gotta admit, the moment I stepped into the game room, a smile instantly hit my face. Anything I wanted to play, more or less, it was there. From next-gen consoles to all the way up to the old-school arcade cabinets and pinball machines. Anything you could think of, it was probably there. On top of some stuff that you've probably never seen or heard from before. They had one game that I believe has earned honorable mention. A lot of people really dig the rhythm and music type games. Most recognized would probably be like Dance Dance Revolution or Beat Mania. Beat Mania being the one with the turntable and the keyboard keys. There was something like that there that was brand new that they had up on a projection screen right above the person playing it. And it was this big LED TV, and it had like music videos and stuff like that playing, and then you'd have these symbols that the person down below was actually trying to hit. But instead of a controller or a turntable or anything like that, it was actually his controller was a touch screen, and he was having to move certain ways and combinations in order to hit the notes correctly and continue on with the game. I thought this looked absolutely beautiful, but having the concept of a touchscreen as a controller and an arcade, great idea, but I don't see it lasting very long, just simply because of how damaging customers could be. But continuing to walk around and look at everything, playing a couple games, seeing the marketplace before it really got up and running, it was really cool to see all this stuff. And the people that were there, I mean, I got to meet people on Saturday that I honestly thought I was never going to meet. And let's see, which one should we start off with first? I'll go ahead and start off with the guys from Screw Attack, since wearing the t-shirt, definitely gotta show my support. Chad, Jared, and Craig from ScrewAttack.com were there. They host one of the biggest community gaming websites in the world. I mean, you'll find very few gamers that don't know who ScrewAttack is. And they had a panel where they were actually recording live their weekly wrap-up show called Side Scrollers. And that was definitely a lot of fun, seeing that done live, and Craig getting up on the mic. He was like, okay, we usually have John St. John announce us and have the music playing, so I want a lot of crowd interaction, so I'm going to have y'all do that. So, you know the deal. John St. John says it's time for Side Scrollers, and then the music plays, and y'all are going to do all of that. And me being the smartass that I am, I raised my hand, and Craig's like, yeah. And I'm like, do we have to be the theme music too? And like the place just started laughing its ass off. And he was like, no, you don't have to be the music, but do everything else. I mean, you watch the show, so you know what to do. And I was like, all right, right on. So they move into their usual routine, and Jared usually does daily bits, and he also does it on Side Scrollers, a thing in the video game community called Hard News. He had a bit of a snafu. There was nothing on his laptop, news-wise, so they kind of left it out to the audience to bring up anything that may be worth mentioning in the gaming world right now, news-wise. And you could have heard a pin drop in that room. Nobody had anything to say, so I was like, alright, why not? I had one particular thing that stuck out in my mind, and that was one of the costume packs for Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 got delayed because it pissed off the Minister of Spain. So I raised up my hand and I shouted, I was like, DLC getting banned because Spain's pissed off at it. And seeing Jared's face light up over that was really, really cool. I was glad I was able to help him out with that. The Angry Video Game Nerd, who is at MAGfest every year, he actually sat in on the panel and everything, along with Eddie, what's his name here? Eddie LeBron, that's right. Eddie LeBron. He is I guess you could call him a director, since he did technically direct a movie. He directed the fan film of Mega Man, which, if you have a chance, go over to BlueCoreStudios.com. I mean, don't expect, like, Lord of the Rings style special effects, but it was actually really good, and especially if you're a Mega Man fan, it's definitely worth checking out. And Brental Floss from the With Lyrics series. All three of these guys sat in with the panel, and I was actually fortunate enough to have a chance to get some pictures with them and everything, and I'll post those up later. One of the other big attractions for MAGfest was Nobuo Uematsu was going to be there. For those of y'all that don't know who he has pretty much been the brainchild behind every musical score in the Final Fantasy series. Like, he's been the brainchild between virtually all of them. And he was actually there with his own band, performing, because they have a lot of bands there that play. And I guess in comparison to the video game convention, to an anime convention, there's no rave, but there are a ton of concerts. But I think that's a really good change of pace. I think that's awesome. Because the rave stuff, that can get old really, really fast. But I was outside. I had just gotten off the phone with my dad, and I see Nobu walk by, and I very politely asked him, I was like, could I have a picture? And he was like, oh yeah, of course, come on over. And I really dug the fact that a lot of these people that, I mean, most of us in the nerdy community would just totally fanboy over, and I'm very glad I'm able to keep my composure in that type of thing. Like, I've always had this innate ability to see these people that everybody just completely gushes over, and for me to just very calmly walk up to them, maybe ask them for a picture or anything like that, and they just want to continue sitting there talking to you because, like, you're not being some rabid fanboy or anything like that. I had that happen a few times yesterday, which I thought was really awesome that they were feeling so comfortable talking to me. Some of the other people that I got to meet were actually not advertised to be there. I'm a big fan of ThatGuyWithTheGlasses.com, and I actively went to the website looking for them, see if they were going to be there, and there was just nothing. No shred of evidence that they were even going to be there. And I ran into Jew Wario, who's the host of You Can Play This, Sean Faust, who was doing Epic Fail, and then he started doing Sean's Game Reviews, and then Mars Girl, who was also a critic and reviewer as well. I got to meet all three of them and sit there and chit-chat with them. I had no idea they were going to be there. They were really cool, more than willing to take photos with me and everything, and it was really nice to be around them. And, yeah, I mean, just on that stuff alone just made it worth it being there. And I gotta say, on a comparison of anime conventions and MAGfest, now, it's no secret, I've done the anime convention stuff for a long time now. And I usually don't really have anything to say other than shout-outs to my friends or anything memorable, unless it was something big that directly involved me. At MAGfest, you get a much different atmosphere. Some things stay the same, but at the same time, things are very, very different. The one thing I really noticed is, number one, MAGfest is not a very cosplay-heavy convention. So if you're going there expecting a ton of photo shoots, you're going to be very disappointed. There's not a whole lot of people there in costume. There are some, but not always, I noticed right away. Secondly would be the environment. It's a much more relaxed environment. It's not really high tension. Security is pretty tight depending on where you go. Like at the game room, they were bag checking in and out. So like if you came in with a bag, they had to check your bag. When you came out, they had to check your bag again, because apparently they had a problem with stealing. Which, I mean, I've never contributed to that, so that's not a problem for me. I just happily opened up the bag, and that was that. There are panels and workshops and things of that nature, so if you definitely dig doing those at anime conventions, you're probably going to find one or two of them that you'll really enjoy. A lot of the ones, I was a little irritated about it, but at the same time, I couldn't complain. There were a lot of panels that I would have loved to go see, but they were all on Friday, so I didn't really get to see those. But there were a couple that I did get to see that were very enjoyable. Oh yeah, another honorable mention of internet personalities and stuff like that I got to meet is Ego Raptor. Ego Raptor is the brainchild behind the Awesome series. Anybody that's seen like Metal Gear Awesome or Awesome Compilation, Girl Chan in Paradise, he is the guy behind it all. The most recent thing that he's been doing is a series called Sequelitis, where he's basically been picking apart sequels to well-known video games. So far he's done like Castlevania 2, and then he did Mega Man X. And me being a giant Mega Man fan as well, we sat there and talked with each other for a good half hour. And that was probably one of the coolest conversations I've ever had, especially given the subject. The crowd at MAGfest compared to other anime conventions, just like the atmosphere, it's a lot more relaxed. People, first off, you step into an anime convention, you are going to hear things that are just going to drive you up a fucking wall. Whether it be someone yelling at you that you lost the game, or someone yelling butt scratcher, or seeing a group of people that haven't showered in 3 days doing the damn caramel dance. For those of y'all that don't know, you ever go to an anime convention and you see a group, they're usually about 10 deep, standing off in a corner and just doing this bullshit. That is the caramel dance. And I swear to God, it takes every fiber of my being not to pick up the closest heavy object and hit them with it every time I see it. It wasn't funny 3 years ago. It's still not funny now. And I guess you could have put that in the category of memes or something like that. At MAGfest, you get one meme. And it's really even not that annoying. And you're either going to get it right away, or you're not going to understand what it is, and you're going to stop caring. And that one thing that you'll hear at MAGfest is the old X-Men stand-up arcade machine that had like the 6-player co-op, and it actually ran on 2 screens. They had a couple of those there, and every now and then one of the characters in the game is Colossus, and his special move is he hulks out his arms, and he does this big shockwave, and he does this big that's pretty much the special move. Every now and then you'll hear a group of people doing that, but they usually do it for a reason, or that's just one of MAGfest's things, and I didn't really find it that annoying. If anything, every time I would hear it, I would look around to see if something had happened. But I didn't really find it that annoying. Another thing about the people, like every convention has that group of people. I mean, I don't particularly care for it, but if that's your thing, that's your thing. I'm not going to judge. Have that group of people that pretty much for the entire convention, they spend it outside in the smoking area. At anime conventions, this is really common for the people that are pretty much drinking and partying the entire weekend, or they didn't have enough money for a badge, but they wanted to come anyway, whether it be to meet friends or whatever. I don't know. That group of people was still kind of there at MAGfest, but they were there with another agenda. I did not see a single person out in that area that wasn't carrying a MAGfest badge. So you get a much smaller amount of people that are there for the sake of trolling the convention than you would at an anime convention. Nobody really tries to ruin anyone else's fun. If somebody's drunk, they tend to go off and do their own thing. They don't try and interfere with nobody, while at the anime conventions, I've consistently seen drama and bullshit start just because of these people hanging outside of the convention that were either too cheap to buy a badge, or can't afford to buy a badge, or are there just for the sake of getting drunk in public. And I think that is a fantastic change of pace compared to anime conventions. Overall, due to this whole thing that I've been in, and talking to a couple friends, I tend to agree with them that while, yes, I like certain anime conventions, I'm going to the wrong conventions. I need to go to conventions that are more geared towards my interests, whether it be the internet personalities and reviews, or internet shows, or the gaming stuff. With me trying to get into pro gaming, it would definitely be more appropriate for me to go to video game-based conventions. And I'm inclined to agree, just after spending one day at MAGfest, that I dare say that, yeah, I'll be going to Capsicon this year, but after this year, I'm not going anymore. I would much rather go to MAGfest. The people there are much nicer. It is much easier to have a good time, and everybody just tends to be very friendly there. And I really enjoyed that. So I definitely recommend MAGfest to virtually everybody. I mean, even if you're not a big video game fan, maybe you're just an internet or a music fan, there is something for you here at this convention, and you will definitely not be disappointed. And the fact that they moved to the Gaylord, while I wouldn't recommend staying in the Gaylord, book a room with one of the hotels around the area. It'll be a little cheaper. Trust me on this, I know. It being in the Gaylord, the convention is actually utilized very well. It's not too spaced out, but it's spaced out just enough to where you don't feel cramped. And I gotta admit, this is the first time I went to a convention, and I did not smell con funk once. It smelled pleasant the entire day. People at MAGfest actually know how to bathe, and I am so proud of them. I really am. But that's my thoughts on MAGfest in a nutshell. It's definitely recommended by me. I will definitely be going back, and I definitely recommend anyone who hasn't gone to go. But that's the con report altogether. Coming up will be, I've started recording footage for the Road to Evo series. I have more e-cigarette stuff just sitting and waiting to be reviewed, and I'm also working on my first game review. With the fact that I'm able to record game footage and everything, I feel that they'll probably be a lot more entertaining. I'm still trying to figure out the video editing software, so you'll just have to bear with me on that. There will be no music. I wanted intro music on this video, but unfortunately there won't be until I figure out how to do it correctly. So what I'm going to go ahead and leave you with is pictures from the weekend, and thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned.
Coming over me, I feel it all around me. I've been waiting for this moment all my life. It's my destiny. There's a tiny to settle me. It's waiting to come out now. No matter what, no matter how, I know I'll make it through somehow. 'Cause when the road feels so long, I'll still be holding on. I'm gonna keep on going. I know I'll be strong. Yeah, indestructible. I won't let nobody break me down. Indestructible. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Indestructible. Gonna make you gonna keep on going. Indestructible. The last man standing. I'm waiting for a miracle. I never giving up. Nothing can break my spirit. 'Cause you see me struggle. Yeah. I can feel it coming over me. I feel it all around me. I've been waiting for this moment all my life. It's my destiny. There's a tiny to settle me. It's waiting to come out now. No matter what, no matter how, I know I'll make it through somehow. 'Cause when the road feels so long, I'll still be holding on. I'm gonna keep on going. I know I'll be strong. Yeah, indestructible. I won't let nobody break me down. Indestructible. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Indestructible. Gonna make you gonna keep on going. Indestructible. The last man standing. I'm waiting for a miracle. I never giving up. Nothing can break my spirit. 'Cause you see me struggle. Yeah. I can feel it coming over me. I feel